What if I told you that greatness doesn't come to those who wait or pray or daydream about a better life? It comes to those who refuse to rot in their own excuses. The difference between those who break ceilings and those who stay broken has never been about luck, talent, or timing. It's about that one thing no one sees, the mindset, that invisible battlefield you walk through when the world stops watching, that mental war zone where high achievers crawl, bleed, scream, but never beg. You think they were born with it? No. They were forged in silence while you were scrolling. They were built in storms while others were begging for comfort. And the sick truth is, pain built them, pressure sharpened them, purpose carved them. You ever feel like you're stuck in a bad dream you can't wake up from? Like you're moving through your days half alive, body exhausted, soul numb, faking happiness just to survive another hour? You stare at your reflection and wonder how the hell you became this watered-down version of yourself. But you keep going. You slap on a smile, nod through small talk, scroll through highlight reels, and tell yourself, maybe this is just how it is. But something deep inside still twitches. Some wild part of you still refuses to die quietly. That part of you wasn't made to live soft. It wasn't built to bend. It's ancient, relentless. It wants war, not comfort. And you've been drugging it with distractions. The Stoics had a name for that fire, arete, not success, not fame, excellence, and not the cheap kind sold on motivational posters, the kind that burns in silence, the kind that shows up when your body screams, quit, and your mind whispers, again. Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That's not just philosophy, that's war strategy. High achievers don't chase the world, they conquer themselves. Their mind is a fortress, their emotions are tamed beasts, and every time life tries to break them, they respond, calm, focused, deadly. They don't flinch. They build while others scroll. They rise while others whine. They choose mindset over misery, because when you strip away the followers, the cars, the noise, what's left? A man in a dark room alone with his thoughts. That's where it happens. That's where legends are born. Not on the stage, not under the lights, but in the silence, in the quiet hours when no one's clapping, no one's watching, and the only voice you hear is the one inside your head. And if that voice is broken, you stay broken. If that voice is forged, you become impossible to break. And that's what we're doing here. This isn't some glittery fairy tale or fake motivation. This is a resurrection. We're digging up the part of you that's been buried under self-doubt, bad habits, fake friends, and the lies you've told yourself. We're about to drag that fire back into the light. This isn't about dreams. This is about the brutal, bloody, soul-shaking mindset that builds those dreams, inch by inch, scar by scar. So don't you dare skip a second of this. This might be the moment that burns away everything that's been holding you back. Like, share, subscribe. And remember this forever. You weren't born to crawl. You were born to burn, build, and break through. Drop this in the comments like a war cry. I choose the mindset that builds me. Now, let's get into it. Number 1. They never wait for motivation. Here's the part that burns. Motivation is a seductive coward. It whispers in your ear when skies are clear, when your energy is high, when life feels like a well-oiled machine. But the second life slaps you across the face. When the bills pile up, the alarm rings in darkness. The weight of your failures crushes your chest. Motivation runs, like a ghost, like it was never real to begin with. And that's when high achievers shine, not because they're fearless, but because they've stopped depending on something as fragile as feeling ready. You ever laid there, staring at your alarm, your heart pounding with that inner war, knowing you should get up, but your mind starts wheeling out soft lies like a seasoned drug dealer? Just 5 more minutes, but 5 becomes 15, 15 becomes shame, and now the sun's ahead of you, the world's ahead of you, and you're dragging behind, angry at yourself, but too far gone to catch up. That's not just a moment. That's war, a daily war. And high achievers, they don't negotiate with that voice. They silence it with movement. They kill the hesitation with discipline before it ever draws breath. They know one thing the average man refuses to admit. You will never feel like it when it actually counts. The mornings you ache, the nights you want to scream, the setbacks that shatter your confidence. That's when most people fold. But high achievers, they march into the pain like warriors. They treat discomfort like a forge. Every freezing morning, every humiliating loss, every rep when their arms are trembling, they don't see it as pain. They see it as proof. Because they aren't just chasing success, they're manufacturing grit. And here's what separates them from the rest. They're not waiting to become someone. They're killing who they were, over and over, until nothing soft remains. Comfort doesn't build men. Routine does. Obsession does. Waking up when the world's asleep, bleeding for a dream no one else understands. That's where they build their empire. Not in hype, in hell. Epictetus didn't write poetry. He threw daggers. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best of yourself? That line wasn't made to inspire you. It was made to haunt you, because buried beneath your laziness, under the pile of every excuse you've recycled, is the man you swore you'd become. He's not waiting for a motivational video. He's waiting for you to get off the floor and fight like your soul's on fire. So the next time your finger reaches for that snooze button, freeze. Because in that instant, you are choosing your master. You either answer to your emotions or you command them. One man needs motivation like a crutch. The other man walks through fire without blinking. One survives. The other builds empires. So ask yourself without mercy, which one are you breeding right now? Number 2. They control their emotional responses. Most people walk through life like ticking time bombs, one insult away from erupting, one inconvenience away from losing their minds. They think emotions are their identity. They wear their outbursts like some badge of authenticity, as if being easily triggered somehow makes them real. But the truth is far more brutal. They are emotional slaves, prisoners of impulse, hostages to every disrespect, delay, and deviation from their expectations. And when life punches them in the mouth, they fold, cry, rage, blame. But high achievers, they don't flinch. They pause, they breathe, they respond like assassins, with precision, not panic. You ever had one of those days where one tiny spark burns your whole house down? Someone cuts you off in traffic and now your blood's boiling for hours. A minor setback suddenly becomes the excuse to sabotage your entire day. That's emotional weakness in its purest form. And it's dangerous. Because when you hand over your mood, your focus, your peace, to strangers, to circumstances, to moments, you've already lost. High achievers refuse to hand over their power that cheaply. Their inner world is not a playground. It's a fortress. Stone walls, steel doors, and a soldier at every gate. Seneca didn't write for comfort. He wrote for war. He said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality, because the real pain isn't outside. It's in your reaction to it. It's in the chaos you create in your head." High achievers know this. They don't just feel emotions. They interrogate them. They look pain in the eye and strip it down. Is it real, or just a ghost in the mind? Is this betrayal your end, or your fuel? They bend every emotion into instruction. Anger becomes awareness. Sadness becomes silence. Everything is repurposed into power. But don't mistake control for numbness. These men feel everything, but they don't bow to it. They let the storm rise, but they don't speak until it passes. They don't act when the water's wild. They wait until it's still, because emotions are noise. And if you act inside that noise, you'll crash your life into walls you can't even see. High achievers move like tacticians, not victims. Their response isn't empty, it's earned. So the next time your blood starts boiling, when shame creeps in, or fear wraps around your chest, don't react. Wait. Breathe like a king holding court. Let that emotional wave rise as high as it wants. Let it crash. But don't move, not yet. Because silence in the storm is how warriors choose direction. Control isn't about being cold. It's about staying unshakable while the world tries to break you. That's not emotionless. That's godlike. And in a world full of reactors, the man who can respond with reason becomes unstoppable. Number 3. They make pain a partner, not a prison. Pain isn't just part of life. It's the very forge that carves the strongest men alive. It doesn't whisper. It doesn't negotiate. It screams, slaps, and shoves you face first into the mirror. And in that mirror, you meet the man you really are. Not the version you pretend to be when life is soft, but the version you become when everything you love is ripped from you. High achievers don't run from that mirror. They stare into it until they no longer flinch. Most people beg for comfort. They'll numb the ache with distraction, drown the silence in noise, avoid the reflection with every addictive escape they can find. But high achievers? They sit with it. They bleed with it. Because they know what most people will never accept. Pain is not punishment. It's preparation. Every scar is a signature from life that says, you survived this. Now let's see what you do with it. You ever had your soul gutted by someone you trusted? Felt your chest cave in from a loss so deep it doesn't even feel real? That hollow pit inside you, that ache that won't let you sleep, that's your becoming. Most people try to patch it, cover it, run away from it. But the elite, the relentless, they walk directly into the fire. Because pain, when faced, stops being a prison. It becomes a partner, a mentor, a brutal coach that strips away your ego and forces you to evolve or evaporate. Cleanthes said it best. Lead me, Zeus and you, fate, wherever you have assigned me, I will follow without hesitation. This isn't about submission, it's about transformation. You're not at the mercy of pain, you're shaped by it. Life will drag you either way, but only the bold decide to walk forward with their fists clenched and jaw set. Every scar you carry, that's your resume. That's proof that you've lived, lost, and kept moving. High achievers don't hide that pain. They weaponize it. They use heartbreak as a line in the sand. They turn trauma into tenacity. They don't need pity. They don't need rescue. They need the pain, because it's the only thing honest enough to teach them who they are. So when the world tries to crush you, when grief sits on your chest like a demon in the dark, when life tells you you're finished, smile, because you're not broken. You're being reforged. Let the pain in. Let it rip through you. And then rise with it. Drag it with you. Turn it into fire. Because in the end, the man who can walk with pain at his side is the man the world can never break again. Number 4. They don't outsource their worth. Validation is the sweetest venom ever sold. It flatters you, feeds you, strokes your ego, and then chains you to a prison where the key is in everyone else's pocket but your own. That fake dopamine rush of likes, nods, applause, it blinds you. But high achievers, they don't just see through it, they burn the whole illusion to the ground. Because they've learned the hard truth. A man addicted to being seen will never see himself. You ever feel that itch? That invisible pull to prove yourself? You post your progress not because you're proud, but because you need someone to clap. You share your vision not because it's sacred, but because deep down you're hoping they'll say, "You're amazing." But what if they don't? What if no one watches? What if they laugh? That's where the weak crumble because their worth was outsourced. And any worth you outsource can be repossessed. High achievers are ghosts in that game. They vanish from the approval trap and walk into the wilderness of silence, because that's where real confidence is forged. They stop announcing, they stop asking, they stop waiting to be seen. They build alone, in the dark, with their bare hands and bloodied resolve. They let the noise starve to death while their legacy grows teeth. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." That quote doesn't tickle, it shreds. Because every time you let someone's doubt derail your ambition, you're trading your throne for a leash. And that leash, it doesn't come off easy. You wear it with a fake smile, a quiet resentment, and a life that was never truly yours. But when a man breaks that chain, when he decides to stop begging for eyes on him, he becomes dangerous, not loud, not flashy, just unstoppable. He walks into rooms and doesn't shrink. He fails without flinching. He succeeds without boasting. Because his worth isn't something he shows off, it's something he breathes. His confidence is carved, not copied, and no applause can build what's already been earned in silence. So if you fall, fall hard. But don't look around for sympathy. Get up without witnesses, win without announcements, and let the only voice that validates you be the one that stares back from the mirror, because that man, he doesn't want cheers. He wants truth. And truth doesn't need to be popular. It just needs to be yours. Number 5. They think in years, not moments. Most people live in fast forward, hungry for results, desperate for applause, addicted to speed. They want the transformation without the transition, the rewards without the rituals. But high achievers, they think in centuries. Their dreams aren't microwavable. They don't sprint toward a finish line. They sculpt a kingdom, one stone, one scar, one silent night at a time. Their eyes are locked on forever, while the world is chasing now. You ever feel that itch? That gnawing frustration when your effort isn't paying off in the first week, the first month? You start with fire, you post the journey, you tell the world, but when the likes don't come and the results don't scream back, that fire, it flickers. That's where most people fold. But high achievers, they don't chase sparks. They build wildfires. Their pace is slow, brutal, deliberate. While others scroll, they study. While others switch paths every 3 months, they master one, inch by inch, failure by failure. They plant seeds and then they vanish. No updates, no ego, just faith. Faith that time will reward the man who dares to be patient in a world that worships the shortcut. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, lost everything in a shipwreck. He was broken, humiliated, forgotten, and still from that ruin he built an empire of thought that echoes through centuries. He said, "Man conquers the world by conquering himself. That's the level. That's the standard. Not noise, not speed, but relentless inner warfare. High achievers don't panic when things go quiet. They thrive there. They don't chase the algorithm. They break it by becoming too solid to be ignored. Their discipline makes them divine. They suffer in silence while everyone else performs for claps. They give up comfort, not because it's trendy, but because they understand. Comfort is where legacies go to die. So when others are looking for hacks, they're laying bricks. When others quit in year one, they're burying their head in the grind with decade-long focus. That's not motivation. That's madness. Controlled, weaponized. So when the world tells you it's too slow, good. Let it be. Let everyone else rush toward vanity while you crawl toward eternity. Because in the end, you're either building something immortal or crumbling in the pursuit of quick hits. Build slow. Burn forever. Let time be your witness, not your enemy. Because greatness isn't loud, it's long. And those who endure the silence, they become the storm. Stop waiting. Stop begging life to get easier before you rise. Stop blaming the storm when your spine was built for war. Everything you've been searching for, strength, clarity, grit, greatness, it's already burning inside you. Not in some far-off future, not after you heal, not when the applause starts. Right now, in the quiet, in the mess, in the middle of the chaos you call life. You've been walking past your own power for years, and it's time you opened your eyes. These 5 mindset shifts aren't philosophies you print on a poster. They are battle scars etched into the souls of those who refuse to break. They're not meant to inspire you. They're meant to shake you until you wake up. This world doesn't care about your excuses. It rewards the man who bleeds, crawls, burns, and still keeps his hands steady on the wheel. These shifts are not motivational buzzwords. They are ancient blades handed down through fire and trial, weapons for the few willing to use them. High achievers don't talk about it. They become it when no one's watching, when everything feels pointless, when the world laughs. They keep swinging, they keep standing, they keep showing up until the silence turns into storms of respect. That's not mindset, that's madness forged into mastery, and it's in you. You don't need another quote, you don't need another book. You need to look yourself in the eye and remember the animal you buried beneath comfort, fear, and approval. Rip the mask off, smash the mirrors, burn the script that tells you you're not enough, because the truth, you were never weak, you were just distracted. So now, get loud with your silence, get dangerous with your peace, get holy with your discipline, and go build the man you were born to be. Not for validation, not for revenge, but because you owe that version of you, the one who survived hell, the future he died for. If this didn't just speak to you but broke something wide open, then like it, share it, pass it to someone still sleeping on their power. Subscribe, but more importantly, ignite. Because this isn't a message, this is your awakening. And the fire, it was never gone. It was just waiting for you to remember.